Sharon, let's move on now to other news we are tracking for you. For the last 1 week, we have been getting you details of how China is stepping up aggression on land and air. Today, we are getting you details of how Beijing is also eyeing oceans. A day after we told you how Chinese Yuan class submarine was prowling in the Indian Ocean, NewsX is learning how the China is trying to snoop on Indian vessels. PLA Navy's intelligence gathering vessel has been detected in the Indian Ocean region. While the Indian Navy is on high alert, 13 Chinese naval units have been spotted in the region in the last 2 months. Well, Hai Wang Xing, with many snooping and intelligence gathering devices, has been registered by the China PLA Navy as a merchant vessel with the Panama flag to create a false identity smokescreen so that they can come closer to a naval vessel and carry on with snooping and intelligence gathering. So this is the big story we are tracking for you this hour now. We're learning, of course, of aggressive tactics of China now, even in the water route, the ocean route. Ashish Singh, Strategic Affairs Editor, joining us with further updates. Ashish, we have, of course, been breaking for our viewers recently the various tactics of China, be it in land, be it in air, and now the ocean and water route as well.
Well, that's right. This is not for the first time when Chinese Navy have escalated the tension in the maritime domain. Remember, just a few days from now, Prime Minister Modi would be coming face to face with the Chinese President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the G20 summit in Hamburg. And keeping that aspect in mind, it appears that Chinese Navy has decided to escalate the matter. It appears a very planned strategy. In last couple of weeks, we have seen how China has been creating tussle at the line of actual control between Indian Army and the PLA Army. And once that has not yielded any positive result for China, remember Bhutan's statement against China in favor of India. Now the Chinese Navy are basically trying to escalate matter in the maritime domain in the Indian Ocean region. As we speak, around 13 units of Chinese Navy, the PLAN, have been deployed in the Indian Ocean region. At least 13 of them, rather I would say, have been detected by the Indian Navy's GSAT-7, the Rukmini satellite, the submarine hunter and reconnaissance aircraft P-8I, the Poseidon 8I, and also by the Indian Navy warships. This is the duration I'm talking about for 2 months. In last 2 months, at least 13 of such Chinese naval units have been detected. It's not a normal routine or the normal number that the Indian Navy and the Indian government should not worry about. This is one area which has been of the conflict in nature between India and China, South China Sea, the Indian Ocean region, and Chinese Navy have been creating a lot of issues with Indian Navy when it comes to nature between India and China, South China Sea, the Indian Ocean region, and Chinese Navy have been creating a lot of issues with Indian Navy when it comes to this particular area in the maritime domain. Also, there's going to be a Malabar exercise among US Navy, Indian Navy and Japan Navy in just few days from now. And keeping that aspect in mind, it seems that Chinese Navy has decided to deploy a few ships which will basically be focusing only on intelligence gathering and snooping on Indian Navy vessels. Now, this particular picture that we are showing is of the 815 Alpha type ship, which basically is known as Hai Wang Xing. This is one of the 7 ships of the same class, which basically has a lot of snooping devices, a lot of intelligence gathering, radars, sonars on board. And this particular ship has been detected by the Indian Navy's surveillance assets, like as I mentioned, GSAT-7 and Rukmani satellite and the P-8I aircraft in Indian Ocean region. Uday?
Right, and of course the Indian Navy is aware of these tactics of the Chinese. The Indian Navy is very alert, we are being told, Ashish.
Uday, these are tactical movements by Chinese Navy. The Indian Navy has managed to detect almost all the units that are floating around of Chinese Navy in the Indian Ocean region. We have detected so far 13 of such Chinese naval unit, which also includes a Yuan class submarine, a few warships, and most of these intelligence and intelligence gathering and snooping devices ship. And this particular ship, as I mentioned, Hai Wang Xing, is something that has a lot of material, lot of devices on board, to listen to the conversation that is taking place, say, in an Indian submarine, or to exactly pinpoint where the Indian warships are in the Indian Ocean region. The Indian Navy has headquarters has rather alerted the entire squadron of P8I, and the GSAT Rukmani satellite is completely focusing on this particular area of Indian Ocean region to ensure that every movement of Chinese naval unit is detected and they are monitored continuously.
All right, we leave it at that. Ashish, thanks for joining.